Girl, it's what I heard. Allegedly, it's just the word. Allegedly, it's on the street. Allegedly, I say to the beat. Allegedly, lee, lee, lee. Allegedly, lee, lee, lee. Allegedly, lee, lee, lee. Allegedly.
So we're going to start this rewatch with actually beginning on the previous episode when Monique and Candice got into their skirmish, their scuffle, their brawl. But it's actually the episode after that Bethanny and Kandi reviewed. But I just, wanted to refresh myself thoroughly. This happened at a winery, not a bourbon tasting. Y'all got that buck off some wine? Damn. Gizzard's book that nobody bought, much like her makeup. Rob Dixon. You gonna say the politician Ashley walk in and everything good in the hood? Like everything was good in your hood while Juan was with other women? And your paycheck paid for it? You're pathetic. So Ashley tells everybody they have a throuple of a union. And Ashley had the nerve to say, well, Michael went to the hotel, but he didn't hump. And Rob said, and you believe that? Well, Rob, now that the shoe's on the other foot, we don't know what you was believing. Juan out here paying for hotels for women that he didn't even know. You believe that? You believe his Good Samaritan story. So why wouldn't you immediately run to the Darby defense? Because you're a filthy lie, that's why. A heifer and a hypocrite. You ain't believing one word that Michael says, but you believe Juan's sentences. It's so good to remember that this all started because Candice said, I love Monique even though she pretended she was asleep when I left. So it really wasn't that big of a deal. Monique said, do you understand what I went through? Well, you don't have kids. You wouldn't understand. And Candice said, you're mom shaming. But Candice, you want to talk about Giselle's dwindling uterus. So this really goes back to Candice trying to be friends with Charisse to tell that lie about Monique and her trainer. And so we end it with Monique flipping the hair, and let's get to the brawl. Well, I'm glad I went back just to see how everything started and how hypocritical Rob Dixon really is. And to see the look of glee on Gabrice's face when she got to bring up, oh yes, it's all about Charisse and the trainer. What does Charisse have on you, Gabrice, where you always want to climb up her cooch? So we open with Candice saying, drag me, and Monique saying, do you want me to? Do you want me to? Man, I wish Peacock would let us watch this in slow-mo. So the hair flip, and then you see Giselle, don't let it go. Rob in the back cackling. Giselle walking around, gawking at the mess you started. Production cannot get Monique's hands off her. Monique has that hair tight. Monique got splashed, and then she, wham, wham, wham. When she got hit in the face with that wine, oh, that was it. Candice was trying to throw broken glass. Last rewatch. Yup, Momo was pulling her. Ooh, Giselle trying to pull Candice away. But this is just the beginning of the brawl. So after security and the crew finally peel Monique off of Candice's hot head, because I know her head had to be hot after that, sore and tender head. Now, Rob, why didn't you get all bucked then? Candice kept saying, is my wig on? I mean, in a sense. So Karen goes to check on Momo now that they've separated them. However, production is not letting Monique back out. However, they walk Monique out the back and she hears Candice and gets to running. She's got on a chunky heel. So she's ready. She had on her ass-kicking pumps. Production had to damn near tackle her. Candice is in the car saying Monique tried to fight you. She succeeded and whooped your ass. There's enough things about black women fighting and scrapping. I don't want to look like a ghetto. But it's okay for you to talk all your smack. That ain't ghetto. All right. And we get pre-surge Wendy saying, every day I go on the news to represent people like me who don't have a seat at the table and this kind of behavior. They say this is why we don't deserve a seat at the table. And it's so funny that you have this high and mighty attitude now, but you get real buck Next season, when they come after your marriage, when they have nothing better to do because all they do is get cheated on and left, you were ready to whoop ass too, whether the camera was rolling or not. Seats at table be damned. Just real interesting how when you ain't in the hot seat, you're all, oh, my professorship. But you was ready to scrap for Eddie and throw all them degrees away. When you saw what the green-eyed heifers truly had to say, it's very interesting. Now that you see this pattern of behavior, Gizzard says what happened was deplorable. Well, you're the one who set it up, so you're deplorable. Rob saying, when I was looking into Monique's eyes, it was like the devil possessed her. Well, I wonder what possessed your husband when he was paying for Canadian Cooch's hotel hopping. Now, Candice never takes responsibility for her actions with this, but we see Chris coddle her and her tender scalp after the tussle and tug. The wig tug, that is. You see, she got that wig just sitting, and she had that headband on because all through here it is red and so. Not sore, so. So. Oh my God, this episode also has Ashley's post-nup in it. This was the episode to rewatch. Oh my God. Wait a minute, we got the hot mic with Gizzard's father too? This is the episode that keeps on giving. This is really like the penultimate episode of the series. So the Papagons say on camera, if this will make you happy, I won't stand in the way. If you think this is best for you and the girls, I'll walk you down the aisle. Girl, like Giselle's ever gonna have an aisle again. Over with Ashley and her coot, Ashley and her coot. One's doing the conning, the other's getting the boot. Broke Ashley and her coot, 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 coot. So she puts the baby down and they get to talking about this post-nup. That'll mess you up. You're gonna end up homeless, 'cause your post-nup got a hole in it. We've both done things in the relationship that have contributed to us being at this point. Michael said the relationship's become too sedate. He needs that out-of-relationship intimacy. That pass-around puss. Borrowed bussy. Strange schlong. She wants something to protect Dean and her in the event this happens again. Well, whether it did or didn't happen again, you and Dean are out here flapping like a bird with one wing. Y'all out here on a wing and a prayer. But she says, I don't even know what it would say. You sure didn't. Now we got Karen and her coot doing some couples therapy. So we got this restaurant opening. The girls are there learning the value of hard work. However, Gizzard's father wants to grill Jamal on the work of his hard penis. Gizzard talking about what our new family unit looks like. Your new family unit? So the dad looks at them and he's like, I just want you to be happy. Stuffs some mashed potatoes in his mouth and gets off camera. But he's still mic'd. So he's like, look, you can take the mic off me, I'm done. This is not a good move for her. He got 6, 7 baby mamas. As a father, you think twice about that kind of stuff. She shouldn't have to deal with that again. I'm done. Ooh. Dang. Production pimped your pappy. But it was a lie to begin with. So let's see what Bethanny, Kristen Chenoweth, and Kandi Burruss have to say about the episode. Kristen says her ride or dies are Beverly Hills and Salt Lake. Oh, God. Bethanny, you need help. You need fucking help. This show is not about the housewives. It's literally called Rewives. You start off saying Real Housewives of Potomac, Season 5, Episode 9, but it's not about the housewives. It's about the conversations that it starts. Girl, stop trying to turn a reality show episode into English lit. She's trying to give us themes, the motif. If you don't, you're high-minded with a low IQ. Oh, and she asked Kandi to come on in the middle of the episode because she's like, 2 white women shouldn't talk about this. Well, you know what? There you go. She's like, look, I ain't about to get canceled. I'm here for it. Also, you can never go wrong with having Kandi on your show. We should reach out to her. We really should. Because you know Carlos ain't never going to have me on. I don't know why. I'm nice. She keeps saying this show is a vehicle. It's a vehicle. Well, why can't you drive in anything else? You done left the Housewives, you done left Bravo. Why on earth, your little other show got canceled, but why can't you drive in any other vehicle? Why don't you have any other vehicles to get in? You can't take a plane, a train, an automobile, a bus, a scooter, or a wagon trail. You couldn't get in any of them vehicles. You couldn't take the Shoe Leather Express. You had to get in the Housewives vehicle, even though this show isn't about housewives. It's a vehicle to drive you away from housewives. So you got to get in housewives to get away from housewives. Oh, God. You know what? Tammy Roman left Basketball Wives, and guess what she does now? Acting. She doesn't do a podcast about Basketball Wives. She'll talk about it occasionally, but she ain't doing interviews about it every 5 minutes. You're basing your business, validating your vehicle, and leaning on the laurels of housewives. And you ain't doing nothing else but. So they really like how Ashley, opened up about the throuple marriage situation and didn't take Gabrice and Gabrice's bait like Sheree does when Marlo quizzes her on her lack of man or lack of housing. Kristen Chenoweth is saying, I don't like when they use storyline and scene. That's what I do. Honey, that's what they do too. Yes, you are getting played like a soybean burger. So we bring Kandi on, and Bethanny says, I've never seen a dragging like this on Housewives. And Kandi said, well, hold on. Portia drugged Kenya just like that, by the hair, across the reunion stage in front of Bravo Andy. So Bethanny says, so Kandi, since black women have had to work twice as hard to get a seat at the table, how do you feel about it? Because these shows are based in conflict where you should be able to have the same conflict, which makes the show interesting. Because all these shows are based in human conflict and resolution. So how does that work? Kandi said, well, I have wanted to put my hands on somebody. And Bethanny said, well, what's kept you from it? And she said, well, this season, it hasn't come out yet, but I almost beat somebody's butt. However, I just decided to leave the situation. Kandi said, however, if you act out, Bethanny, you could just be having a bad day. If I act out, it will be looked at differently. And that is the truth. Now, Candice brought up an interesting point. She says, I feel like as all the housewives, we have played into what people expect of us per region. She said Jersey, Italian trash. OC, blonde trash. And when I think of Atlanta, I do think of black aunties. So I will give her that. When I think of the DMV, I do think of Vanessa Williams wannabes, She got a point. Beverly Hills has the fading stars. Kandi said, look, I am a black woman from Atlanta. I think I'm smart. I'm a businesswoman, but don't come in my face with all of this or I'm going to check you. And if that's the stereotype of a black woman, then that would be me. So they also point out the difference between how people act in DC and how people act in Atlanta, that Atlanta's a little more free and a little more flashy and DC's a little more straight-laced and stuffy. Kandi leaves and now we're going to wrap it up. I have to say it was a cute little conversation, but really just episodes 8 and 9 of season 5 just really put such a pin in where the ladies were, and now we can see where they are. And now that the veil has been lifted and we can see Gabrice and Rob's lies, I love seeing the show now for truly what it is. And I feel like when you watch those 2 episodes, it will give you new clarity. Oh, Lord, but then they start talking about Karen and her coot, in love versus loving. Child, don't nobody care. They staying together till he croak. That's what it is. Karen's getting widow money.
Alleged what? Alleged who? Allegedly. Allegedly. Don't blame, don't sue. Allegedly.